Hi, I'm Lucas.
And I'm Gabe.
And you're watching Coog Cinema Reviews. Today, we'll be reviewing Avengers Infinity War.
Before we move on, we want to tell you guys about the free screening of Infinity War hosted by SPB on September 6th in the Student Center South Theater.
The show times are at 4 p.m., 7 p.m., and 10 p.m. It's first come, first served, so be sure to get there early. So what were your first thoughts on this movie before seeing the movie?
I expected a really long, overly dramatic CGI fest.
That was the same thing I expected, but I was excited for it. I was very excited for it.
Well, I guess we'll start with the main thing. Thanos is basically the sort of center of the story.
Yes,
that's
why I think this movie shouldn't have been called Avengers Infinity War. It should have just been called Theis, because it's all about Thanos, in my opinion. It's a Thanos movie instead of an Avengers movie. Just the Avengers are just the side characters.
I have a lot of respect for Josh Brolin and how much he was able to emote, in that position. It's not easy doing motion capture acting, and I don't know if he's ever done it before, but he did it, very professionally, and I applaud that. But is there ever going to be another Marvel movie that doesn't look like a cutscene from a video game? Well, let me just use this to transition to my main problem with the movie. It's not the length or the special effects, because I've had my problems with the MCU for quite a while now, but something they've never disappointed in is the characters. The characters are always very endearing, very likable, always well cast and well acted, with rare exception, but generally the characters are always at least a redeeming quality of the movie. But for this particular one, it was the first time where I just felt underwhelmed by the cast. Characters I liked were either pushed to the side, written awkwardly, as if the writers didn't know how to balance some type of character with, how do you balance Star-Lord with Iron Man? That's a really, especially in this type of grim story, I think putting all these different types of characters together was giving yourself a lot to juggle, and they did better than I might have expected, because the movie's not a mess. It's not like a chaotic mess, but the strain showed. The
best character development of the past few movies, in my opinion, is a character I didn't like at first, but has really shined in the past two movies. His recent movie and the Avengers movies was Thor. I personally think Thor was the shining star of this movie.
I will agree that Chris Hemsworth was great in this movie. He's one of the actors that came out unscathed.
He was.
But at the same time, again, there's a total imbalance with the character of Thor. The first couple scenes he's in, he acts very odd to me. I'm very distracted by some of the direction that they gave Chris Hemsworth. I'm confused, just in general by the direction they took for a lot of these characters.
Definitely met Chris Pratt's shining moment in the MCU universe. I think he's received a lot of backlash for this movie. That wasn't his fault, but...
Well, for his performance or for what his character does?
Performance, that is his fault, but for what his character does, even though it's just a movie.
It was character assassination for, a character that's grown over the past two Guardians movies.
Exactly.
This was a major setback for him, and that's the thing, this movie does take characters I, liked, or at least, enjoyed, and really set them back in a lot of different ways. And I have to be honest, as a person who doesn't like all these movies, it's just the MCU, movie-going experience just becomes so odd for me. Thinking on what Star-Lord has done, I think this is a good time to transition to spoilers. So if you haven't been on the internet for the past couple months and you don't know the ending of this movie, you can go ahead and shut it off now. Just know that Lucas very much liked it, and I was not so much a fan. But now we're gonna get into the nitty-gritty of what happens at the end of Avengers Infinity War. Lucas, what happens at the end?
It's basically, the end of the universe. Thanos gets all six Infinity Stones, and with the snap of his fingers, he wipes out half the universe. Even though you knew they weren't gonna be dead because of the sequels, but that Spider-Man, it got me. I don't care. It got me.
If it was Tobey Maguire, I would have cared.
I don't know about that.
I will obviously see the next movie just because.
Obviously,
I mean, these
yeah.
movies are a big deal. Like for somebody who misses, who wants movies to be more of a sort of a cultural touchstone and more significant. Like these really superhero movies, MCU movies, are like the best chance for that. I mean, Black Panther was the movie that really took the world by storm. And I appreciate the level of cultural significance that these movies have reached. I mean, I remember as a kid, having to defend superhero movies. Like when Spider-Man 2 came out, it was like a big deal just that, we had a decently mature comic book movie. And now that's the norm.
But it did generate a lot of moolah.
A lot of moolah.
It's the 4th highest grossing movie of all time. It's only the 4th movie to gross $2 billion behind Star Wars The Force Awakens, Titanic, and Avatar. But I don't know, I really enjoyed it. I've seen it 3 or 4 times. I give it a solid 8.5 out of 10, which I would rank it in the top 10 MCU movies.
Okay, I respect it,
Very
but
much.
frankly, the ugly sort of effects and the really, I think, just sort of bland, washed out MCU look combined with the underwhelming to problematic characterization to the, frankly, lackluster plot. I never really cared about Thanos. So all those things combined into one with the length, with everything going on, I would have to give it a 5 out of 10.
Ooh, that's brutal.
That is, I would, top. It's better than Thor: The Dark World. So if you have to choose between Thor: The Dark World
Well,
and
Thor: The Dark
this,
World was the 2nd worst MCU, so that's saying it's like the 3rd worst. Did you like it better than the first 2 Avengers?
No, I liked it more than Age of Ultron.
Yeah,
I did not
same
like it
here.
more than the first Avengers.
I liked it more than the first Avengers.
Yes.
I didn't like Age of Ultron at all, but I still enjoy Infinity War, watching it 4 times. So I'd say Avengers Infinity War was the best of the Avengers, in my opinion.
So those are our thoughts on Avengers Infinity War. Like us on Facebook and subscribe to us on YouTube.
Don't forget, the free screening of Infinity War is hosted by SPB on September 6th in the Student Center South Theater. The show times are at 4 p.m., 7 p.m., and 10 p.m. It's first come, first serve, so be sure to get there early. I'm Lucas.
And I'm Gabe.
And thanks for watching.